There is a turning point in a man's life when he realizes that the only reason he isn't where he wants to be is because he keeps giving himself options. Options to delay, options to start tomorrow, options to ease up, options to quit quietly without consequences. Nothing destroys a man's progress faster than the illusion of safety nets. When you leave the back door open, you will eventually use it. If you want to evolve, if you want to transform your body, your mind, and your discipline, you must burn the option to quit. Eliminate the escape route. Remove the fallback plan. Force yourself to stand in front of your goals with no way out but forward. People romanticize commitment, but most never actually commit, because commitment requires sacrifice. True commitment means there is no alternative, no negotiating with excuses, no soft landing if effort feels uncomfortable, no loophole to justify inconsistency. And because most people fear the pressure of full commitment, they stay average. They don't fail because they're incapable, they fail because they keep the option to fail available. Burn that option and everything changes when quitting is no longer possible. Execution becomes your default. Burning the option means you stop telling yourself convenient lies. Lies like I'll restart next week. Lies like I'm overwhelmed right now. Lies like I don't have time today. These lies create mental exits that weaken your resolve. When you eliminate these lies and replace them with truth, raw truth, you become powerful. The truth is you have time. The truth is you can push through discomfort. The truth is you don't need motivation. The truth is that every excuse you accept becomes a step backward. Burn the option to lie to yourself and your entire identity shifts. Commitment becomes easier when you eliminate alternatives. If your goal is to get stronger, training becomes non-negotiable. If your goal is discipline, structure becomes non-negotiable. If your goal is mental toughness, discomfort becomes non-negotiable. But when you give yourself the option to skip, hesitate, or delay, you destroy the momentum before it even begins. Burning the option is a psychological switch, a commitment to continue regardless of emotion. Emotion becomes irrelevant. Identity becomes the engine. Most men believe motivation will rescue them, but motivation cannot compete with pressure. Pressure exposes the level of commitment you truly have. If you still have an option to retreat, you will eventually take it. But when you burn the option, pressure becomes your ally. Pressure sharpens you. Pressure forces growth. Pressure strengthens your discipline. A man who removes all exits is a man who learns to fight for his future because he has no alternative. You must understand that comfort is the greatest enemy of commitment. If you keep comfort nearby, you will return to it. If you keep your old habits accessible, you will relapse. If you keep your old lifestyle within reach, you will drift back into it without realizing it. Burning the option means closing the distance between you and your future and increasing the distance between you and your past. Create an environment where the man you want to become is easier to be, and the man you used to be is harder to return to. The year is ending, and this is where most people loosen their discipline. They tell themselves it's okay to coast into the new year, that they'll fix everything in January. But that's a lie wrapped in convenience. The truth is, if you slow down now, you start next year from weakness. Burn the option to coast. Burn the option to pause. Burn the option to wait. Your momentum into the next chapter is decided right now, not later. And if you end the year strong, you begin the next year unstoppable. Burning the option also means taking ownership of your habits. Your habits are either building the life you want or maintaining the life you should have left behind. Every decision stacks. Every routine compounds. Every action influences your identity. And identity is what determines whether you quit or continue. If your habits belong to the man you used to be, you must destroy them. Replace them with habits that make quitting impossible. Replace them with routines that reinforce strength, not softness. You must also burn the option of being influenced by people who lack discipline. Not everyone can be in your circle. Not everyone deserves access to your mission. Some people encourage your weaknesses because it makes them feel better about their own. Some people don't want to see you rise because your growth exposes their stagnation. Let them go. Burn the option to seek approval from the undisciplined. Surround yourself with pressure, not comfort. Surround yourself with standards, not excuses. Burning the option demands emotional control. Quitting often begins as an emotional impulse: fatigue, frustration, boredom, doubt. But when emotions no longer influence your decisions, quitting becomes impossible. Emotions are temporary, standards are permanent. When you choose standards over feelings, you burn the option to retreat. You become immune to temporary discomfort. You become immune to mental noise. You become immune to the inner voice that tries to pull you back into weakness. Every transformation begins with a moment of clarity, a moment where you see the gap between who you are and who you want to become. But transformation becomes real only when you destroy the option to remain the same. This year may not have unfolded perfectly. You may have hesitated. You may have slipped. You may have drifted. But none of that matters if you burn the option to repeat it. Your next chapter starts when you decide that your only direction is forward. The man you want to become is waiting on the other side of your commitment. Not your wishes, not your plans, your commitment. Burn the option to quit and the world will see a different version of you, one that moves with intensity, with certainty, with purpose. When quitting becomes impossible, greatness becomes inevitable. Burn the option, lock in, move forward. This is No Excuses Network.